What's going on, guys? Tim from TM Academy, and today we're going to be looking at all of the best cards from Paldea Evolved. These are the cards that you should be looking for at your locals, the cards that you should be chasing when you open them packs, the cards you should be trading for if you want to continue to stay up to date in the meta and just have all of the best cards. Of course, I'm going to be using Justin Basil's tool here. He has a wonderful website. You should go to his website. It's a great site. It's showing you all the upcoming stuff, things you need to know about rotation, tips on deck building, different decks that you could play, just all this stuff. It even has, of course, the Paldea Evolved set list like this. They have a visual set list like this. They even have one with, even if you don't want the translations, you just want to look at the cards because you think they look good, here you go. They have it here, but we're not going to be looking at that today. Today, we're going to be looking at the best cards. He puts down here, he has all the best cards for collectors, which these cards are looking quite good. Shout out to the Saguaro. But the best Pokemon cards for the players and the cards that they should be looking for. So I'm going to be going over some of these, and these are the ones that I think you should be buying, you should be trading for, you should be getting. Of course, let's just start it off. The Oreo with the Passionate Dance. This one's just okay. He has some Pokemon in here that I don't think are very good, but they're in here because they could serve some utility in some decks. This one allows you to heal 20 damage from an evolution Pokemon that's in your active. Not very great. Now, this one is a card you should be on the lookout for. You should be looking for its entire evolution line. That's Excalibur. I think you should just get just 4 of each, all of his evolution line. I didn't play much of the newer games, so I couldn't tell you what his other evolutions are. I'm sorry. But he does have the ability Absolute Zero, which is as often as you like during your turn. You may attach a basic water energy card from your hand to one of your Pokemon. This is an incredible ability. Of course, it's on a stage 2, so that's kind of rough. But I think it's okay. You know, back in the day, we had what was it called? Water Dance, I think is what it was called. But it was a Blastoise that did the same thing, and that was a really good deck in the meta. Of course, the meta is much faster now, but I think, especially after rotation, but even before then, this is a very good card that you're going to find a lot of utility out of, and it's going to pair well with the next card I want to talk about, and that's going to be Chien-Pao EX. Chien-Pao EX has the ability Trembling Frost. Once during your turn, if this Pokemon is in the active spot, you may search your deck for up to 2 basic water energy cards and reveal them and put them into your hand, then shuffle your deck. This is going to pair well with the Excalibur because the Excalibur is going to allow you to attach those energy cards to your Pokemon immediately after grabbing them, and its attack Hailblade does 60 damage times the amount of energy cards that you discard from all of your Pokemon. So if you have 4 out there, you're doing 240 damage. 5, of course, is going to be 300 damage. It's a lot of damage, 5 energy cards. And using Excalibur and, of course, other energy retrieval cards, you're going to be able to ramp it up and do a ton of damage. So Chien-Pao is one that you should look at. I don't think it's going to be super good, but I think it could be a tier 2 deck right there below tier 1, tier 1.5 deck. And then as the meta slows down, it will continue to be a better deck. And it's going to pair well as well with the next card I want to talk about, and that's going to be Superior Energy Retrieval and Super Rod. These 2 cards, look for these. Get 8 copies of each of these. These are going to be cards that have insane utility. Superior Energy Retrieval, of course, discard 2 any cards from your hand and put 4 basic energy cards from your discard pile into your hand. You can't choose a card you discarded with the effect of this card. I do believe they now say up to. They don't just say that, so you don't have to put 4. You can put 3. You can put 2. But Superior Energy Retrieval is going to be a great card with the Chien-Pao and the Excalibur, allowing you to ramp those energy cards onto your Pokemon immediately. Just go ahead, do it, and that's really good. And then, of course, Super Rod, shuffle up to 3 in any combination of Pokemon and basic energy cards from your discard pile into your deck. Of course, another way to recover those energy. Which, just really good. But these are going to be cards you're going to see in a lot of decks. Miriam, I think, is going to be tossed. We don't want to play Miriam anymore. We want to play Super Rod. We don't have to use our supporter for the turn, and we can do the same type of thing that we wanted to do, just a little less, and we're not going to get the draw benefit. But it's not a supporter, so that's really good. While I'm here, I'll talk about Bravery Charm. This is the Cape of Toughness reprint, basically. They named it something else because they're no longer tools. They're item cards, so they just went ahead and made it a completely different card. The basic Pokemon this card is attached to gets plus 50 HP. Go ahead and pick yourself up a few copies of this. You might see this in a few decks. Gardevoir with the Drifloon might be playing it. There's other utilities that you can have for it, just like we've seen with the Chin Pao. You can make it 270 HP, which is very, very nice. Just any basic Pokemon is going to have much more HP, and that's just nice. That's just nice to have. Very, very nice to have. So scrolling back up here, this also is going to pair well with the Palkia V-Star, ramping 3 energy out of the discard pile, so you can hit it big. So let's keep it moving from the top. This one's not very good. I don't think so. The Shink's not worth playing. The Spiritomb, though, is a nice one. I think you should pick you up 1, maybe 2 copies of this. Not more. You're not going to need too many more of that. It has the ability Pitch Black Disaster. As long as this Pokemon is in play, basic Pokemon V in play, both yours and your opponents have no abilities. This is turning off Luminion. This is turning off, I was going to say Crobat, but I forgot that rotated. This is really turning off Genesect V. That's the main reason it is here. It is a complete counter to Mew. It's basically Path for Mew, but they can't bump it with a Stadium. There's nothing they can do to get rid of this besides bossing it and KOing it. This is a great Mew counter because all it has to do is be in play. It doesn't have to do anything else. It just sits on your bench and it turns off Mew. I think I'll be putting 1 copy of this in my Gardevoir deck just to make that matchup a little bit easier. But pick up a couple copies of this. It's going to be very, very worth it. Pelipper. Well, I guess I don't want to skip over any, but Tinkaton could be okay. I think stage 2, it's a little slow. It does 90 plus 90 if it has special energy, and it allows you to discard 1 card in your hand and draw 3, which is a powerful ability, but on a stage 2, it's not very great. I don't think you should worry too much about Tinkaton. Tinglu EX could have some fun meme decks. I don't think it's going to be super powerful in the meta, but it will have some kind of control-y style decks. As long as this Pokemon's in the active spot, your opponent's Pokemon that have any damage counters on them have no abilities except for EXs. I think this could be really, really good. It's weak to Grass and not Psychic, so it's pretty good there in the Gardevoir matchup. Does 150 and then puts 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. You pair it with the Howlucha and stuff like that. You're turning off abilities, but I just don't think it's that great. The Pelipper could have some spot in the meta. I don't know how great it is because you have to play the basic Wingull to actually play this bad boy, but it has the ability Rumor on the Wind. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon during your turn, you may either search the deck for a supporter card, reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck, or put a supporter card from your discard pile into your hand. It has great utility, allowing you to reuse supporter cards that you have, whether they're in the deck or the discard pile. It doesn't matter, but again, it's serving no other purpose than for that initial evolve. And then after that, it's not a great card. It has low HP, doesn't have a good attack. You can't really recycle and reuse it like with Scoop Up Net or anything like that. And you have to play the basic to be able to play it. So I don't really think this has too much utility. Maybe in normal GLC. I don't know. Squawkabilly EX, I'd go ahead and pick up a couple of these. Once during your turn, you may discard your hand and draw 6 cards. You can't use more than 1 show off each turn. Once during your turn, on your first turn, that is important to remember. And then has the ability Psych Up, 20 damage, attach up to 2 basic energy cards from your discard pile to one of your bench Pokemon. Not a terrible attack if you have to use it, especially because it only costs 1 energy. If you're using that attack, though, you probably are falling behind, but it does help by ramping those 2 energy cards. It could even pair well with, oh, look at that, the Chin Pao. I think you should pick up a couple copies of these because you might see them in a couple of decks. Being able to discard, like, completely... Like if it basically takes that first turn if it's a brick and allows you to kind of reset and not be bricked, which is really, really nice. But it's not going to be more than a one of in any deck that it's played in, and I don't think it's going to be played in too many decks. Masquerada, Skeledirge, I think you can skip those all entirely. Wattrel, if you were into the Mad Party deck and you remember Night March from back in the day, I would say pick up 4 copies of this. If you're not into a single prize tier 2 to 3 deck, then don't worry about it. But if you like those decks, pick up 4 copies of this. This is going to be the same thing as Night March and Mad Party. Deal 20 damage for each Pokemon in your discard pile that has the Wings of Unity attack, or the Unified Wings attack. A little bit of a translation error here, but I think it would be much better if this was a 3, if it was 30 damage. I also think this could be much better if they printed more of them. You have the Wattrel, which does it for 2. You have the Murkrow, which does it for 1 dark, which is probably going to be your main attacker. You have the Flamigo, which does it for 2, but when you play it from your hand onto your bench, you can search your deck for 3 of them and put them into your hand, and then find a way to discard those cards out of your hand to continue to fill your discard pile. But there's only these 3. I thought there was a 4th one. 1, 2, 3. That's 12 times 2, 240. If you play the Ditto, you could do the Ditto. They really need to print a 4th one for this to be really, really good. And then in that case, I think it'll be actually decent to like a tier 2 deck for sure, not a tier 3 deck, especially with the 1 dark attack cost, which I think is really fun. And then the Flying Flock ability, which is just great, allowing you to grab as many of you want out of your discard pile. So if you're into that type of play style, you're into that deck, pick this deck up. Otherwise, or pick 4 copies of this up, as well as the Murkrow and the Flamigo. Otherwise, don't worry about it. Skip them. They're not going to be great. Let's see. You can skip the Dedenne, in my opinion. The Lycanroc's terrible. Copperajah could be okay with Picnic Baskets because it does 260 damage for 3. And it takes 30 less damage from attacks. So it's a 330 ostensibly power or HP stage 1, which is like insane. So maybe if you're into metal, I just don't think it's too great. Boss orders, of course, pick those up. You want boss orders, as many as you can get. Grusha, I don't think you can worry about. Giacomo, maybe pick up a copy, maybe 2. I doubt it's going to be in the meta too much. Iono, pick up as many copies of this card as you can find. This card's going to be excellent in control lists. It's going to be excellent in other lists. This is going to be a card like Marnie before it, you're going to have to deal with in every single deck that you play. Each player shuffles their hand and puts it on the bottom of their deck, and each player draws a card for each of their remaining prize cards. This is a combination of In and Marnie. Marnie, of course, shuffle, put on bottom, draw 4 or 5 if you're the active player that played it. And In, shuffle your hand into your deck, draw the amount of cards left equal to your remaining prize cards. This is a combo card of those 2. It does both of them combined into 1. And this card is going to be all over the meta in every single deck, every deck. So pick up as many copies of this as you can find. Great Ball, trash. Fighting Milk, not great. Don't worry about those. This one could be okay in GLC. Not a bad one. But other than that, this is not a great one. Jet Energy, I would go ahead and pick up a couple of these if you play Lost Box or Giratina Lost Box version. It allows you to attach something to the bench, switch it to the active like a Comfy. You attach to a Comfy, the Comfy goes into the active, and then you discard from the Comfy to retreat. It allows you to pull off some extra flower selectings, but, not really too excellent, so maybe just a couple of copies. Luminous Energy, you might pick up a couple copies of this. Maybe get you 4 copies of this. I think in the future, this is one of those cards that are going to come back that you're really, really going to need. So pick up 4 copies of Luminous Energy. It only provides 1 energy at a time. Any color, though, but the caveat being, if there's any other special energy attached, it has to be it provides 1 colorless energy instead, which is a pretty big hit. But in the future, this could be a card that really, really shines. And then another card that I think you should pick up 4 of instantly is Reversal Energy. This is going to be the last card that we talk about today. Reversal Energy, if you have more prize cards remaining than your opponent, and if this card is attached to an evolution Pokemon that doesn't have a rule box, this card provides every type of energy, but it provides only 3 energy at a time. But it can be a colorless energy otherwise. This card's great for Shining Arcana, Gardevoir. Attach 3 of these on there. That's going to increase your damage output by 90. It's a lot. This is a great card. Pick up 4 copies. This is going to be a card that I also believe in the future is going to be boosted a hell of a lot. I'm going to find a copy of this, throw it in my normal GLC deck. That's going to be great. And then, of course, I'm going to throw it in my Gardevoir. I throw a couple copies of this into my Gardevoir and up my Shining Arcana count to reflect that. But that's pretty much it for the cards that you really should be looking out for in Paldea Evolved. Let me know in the comments below if you think I missed anything. Let's take a second. Let's look at these nice, very nice full art cards. These are for the collectors. I'll scroll through here for the collectors real quick. Let's check some of these alternate arts out. Look at those golds, full arts. Look at these here. Ooh. Yeah. But let me know in the comments below if you... That's such a good card right there. If you think that I missed anything, so is this one. I really like this one. I gotta get out of here. Get out here. Let me know in the comments below if you think I missed anything, and of course, how excited you are for Paldea Evolved. Me personally, I'm very, very excited, and I cannot wait to play this set and get my hands on it. There's a lot of good cards in here, and a lot of stuff that's going to be really good in the future, I believe. I think this is a set that you're going to look back on and think, man, I wish I would have picked up more of those cards. 4 or 5 sets from now, you're going to be wishing that. Like, comment down below, subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with all the stuff, and of course, just get more deck lists and fun stuff. We've been killing it on the channel. We're really, really close to 300 subscribers. We actually might be there by the time this video gets uploaded, so, you know, if we're not there, still subscribe. But if we're not to 300 subscribers, go ahead and subscribe to the channel to get us to that 300 mark. We appreciate you guys so, so much for all the love and support. Keep watching the videos. Keep doing all of that. Share us with your friends. Thank you so, so much, and I will see you guys in the next video.